Where's the magazine to make money?
So you want to make $17,500 per month doing absolutely nothing. Well, so do I.
Stop fooling around making pizzas and make money, and then order the pizza.
And last week, I posted part 1 of the series where I introduced to you the journey of going from $0 in passive income to $17,500 per month in passive income. So today, we're gonna talk about how to make more money, how to build profitable connections that are win-win.
Take them for a walk and convince them it's worth $10 million.
And the crucial detail. And it's all to help you get the $80,000 golden ticket. Basically, how can you buy real estate that every time you buy a place, whether it's to live in or not, your net worth instantly goes up $80,000. Not by speculating, not worrying about appreciation. All you're looking for is to buy something that's worth $80,000 more the day after you buy it. That's it.
I feel I'm buying this at a price that's a lot less than what it's worth.
That's what we call the golden ticket, the wedge deal.
That's the way it works.
But there's a second problem that comes out of that. And that is, how do you have the money or the means to be able to buy golden ticket real estate?
Step number 1, you can't do it with zero money. It ain't happening.
How do you make the money so that you can be that person that says, you know what, I'm gonna go get those golden tickets and I'm going to get to a $3 million net worth? Well, that is the point of today's video. Quick reminder, Vegas meetup, Feb 20th. We'll see you there. The first thing that we really need to think of for all of us is the job that we're in right now. What's the ceiling? What's the limit on our job? The limit when I was working at Hollister was, instead of working 5 hours or 10 hours a week, it was, you get to be full-time. The limit at Jamba Juice was realistically, unless for some reason you were part of like the whole corporate family, I could be a store manager, which isn't bad, but it is a limit. I was also a police explorer, and I had that same thought about the police department and public service. Retire after 25 years, so I'd be 45 with a 90% pension from the police department? That sounded pretty freaking awesome too. So there's nothing wrong with these things. But all of these jobs, Jamba Juice, Hollister, the gig economy, they all have a limit. And so today I want to introduce the concept of the 4 types of businesses that do not have a limit. And those are the types of businesses that are going to help us get to that $3 million net worth mark and finally be mini Ben Mallahs, so that we too can give the world the middle finger and enjoy $17,500 of monthly income doing nothing. So I want you to think about Ben Mallah for a moment. He's obviously built a massive net worth.
They're gonna trim the fat and they're gonna make money.
To where he can easily afford this massive mansion in Tampa and swim around on the floaty and hang out with his children. He doesn't have to continue flipping hotels or working in the multifamily space. He does it because he gets to. He gets to share that experience and educate his children, which I really admire. That's what I hope to do in the future, is take Jack and Max and involve them in my real estate investments. All right, hello, realtor. So number 1, a service business.
Try to rent it or buy stuff that has service-oriented businesses in it, okay? And you will take care of them, they'll take care of you, and everybody lives happily ever after.
A service business could be as simple as opening a 3D scanning business, a photography business where you take these 3D virtual tours of properties and you distribute them on behalf of property managers trying to rent out property, real estate agents trying to sell property, or heck, even insurance claims adjusters, architects, or people in the construction field who need before and afters or measurements. These 3D scanning abilities are becoming more and more used, and they're so perfect that they create this prime opportunity for you to create a business around this model.
If at first you don't succeed, Try again.
But you don't have to create a 3D scanning business. A service industry business could really be anything, like being an electrician, or being a real estate agent or broker like I am, or a loan officer. There are a lot of different service industries or businesses that you could get into, but there's something really cool about a service business. Anytime you have a service business, you're actually able to create clientele while you sleep. The way that works is you build a reputation. And even though when you wake up, you still have to go work on those clients, by having a reputation that brings you business, you are in theory making money while you sleep. Remember, our plan here is to work for 9 to 15 years and get to $3 million of net worth and then retire. But the beauty about a service-based business is when you have a reputation working for you rather than just being an employee of Jamba Juice, my 5-star reputation is mine. So when somebody looks up Meet Kevin, I benefit from the rating that I earned. And I also benefit from all the stupid, dumb filtered reviews. Thanks a lot, Yelp jerks. But a business like this allows me the income to buy a real estate below market value, to get my hands on golden tickets. And in case you're thinking, I don't know if the service industry is for me, keep in mind this fact. 70% of the United States economy is based on the service industry. So basically 7 out of $10 in our economy, service industry. And remember what I always say, go where the money is. The second type of business is a product-based business. And this is cool because much like a service business, you can create a reputation for your product or your service. You can scale this, you have this limitless income. You can create an online YouTube channel that lives when you're offline. You can create a t-shirt brand like my buddy Danny Duncan does, who's blowing up. His t-shirts are now in stores throughout malls throughout America. It's unbelievable.
I didn't know my merch was going to be one of the top sites on the interweb.
You could even create an online educational product like a real estate investing course, or even for people who finally invest in real estate, a do-it-yourself property management and rental renovations course. Which if you want to collect those golden tickets and maximize your profit at the same time, you really might consider joining me in the real estate investing course or the management course, linked down below. I keep adding content, you get lifetime access, and everybody who's joined has loved it. It's far exceeded expectations.
You got to use the resources you can find.
Nice thing about opening like an electrical shop or a 3D scanning shop or being a real estate agent or a lender is, I know myself that there is no way anybody is going to provide more service for my customers and guaranteed service and better service than me. And that's what differentiates me from other people, which means if I can differentiate myself, remember my trademarks, Meet Kevin, the no pressure agent, providing more, then I know I'll never be without a job. The third type of scalable business that's going to help you get to that $17,500 in monthly passive income faster than working minimum wage or the gig economy is being a scalable employee. Now, this might be a little bit complicated, and it's probably complicated because I just made that word up. The best example I could think of for this is if you go to a coding boot camp, you could learn how to code and you can generally get a job at an entry-level startup looking for programming help. Then guess what you build? Even though you're an employee, you do build something. You build your resume. You take that resume and then you go to a better startup and a better startup. And then all of a sudden you're at Salesforce, and then you're at Apple, and then you're at Google, and then you're at Tesla. Nobody wants to go to Tesla. You jump around, okay? Right? And you increase your resume and you make more money. It's kind of like building your LinkedIn portfolio. So on one hand, as a service business, you're trying to get reviews on your Yelp. As a product business, you're trying to get reviews on your Amazon listing or eBay reviews. As a scalable employee, you're trying to get those endorsements on your LinkedIn. Notice though, all of these are totally different than being an employee that isn't a scalable type, like working at Jamba Juice, Red Robin, Uber driver, Lyft driver, Amazon delivery. Hate to say it, working at UPS might have good benefits, and quite frankly, if you're delivering Amazon packages, you may as well try to get a job at UPS. I'd rather have those benefits than doing the Amazon crap myself as a 1099 employee. Okay, sorry, side rant. But anything you can build a reputation on yourself will almost always make you more money. So maybe you have a great reputation as a medical sales rep, or an insurance sales rep, or you're really good at selling door to door where you're building your experience, and your built experience is directly related to how much you close in sales. By the way, if you want to do door-to-door summer sales, check out the link in the description down below to when I went undercover and did door-to-door sales. And my mission was to see if it was possible to sell $1,000 worth of personal revenue myself in one day with no experience. And if we were able to get something off his plate.
Yeah, pulling things off of his plate and yeah. Let's try 9 then.
Go check out that video. Now, what about the fourth type of business? Well, the fourth type of business is your investing portfolio. The problem is you usually need one of the top 3 businesses to be able to actually have an investing portfolio. So you could combine these. You could be a service business with an investing portfolio, a product business with an investing portfolio, a scalable employee with an investing portfolio. But if you're not in one of those 3 ranks, because you're floating around in the minimum wage or gig economy or unskilled labor sector, which is a very large part of the economy. I was part of it for years. I'm not trying to say it's bad to be a part of something other than these 3 things. I'm just saying if you're trying to get to $3 million of net worth, let me make this division for you, because I don't think anybody else is making this division, okay? Over here, floating around, the odds of you getting to $3 million, very, very low. Probably next to impossible in that 9 to 15 year time frame, unless you really, really find a lot of good golden tickets and you follow the advice on this channel and in the programs down below. If you want it easier, you're in one of these scalable businesses. Scalable employees, okay. Service business, okay. Product business, okay. That's great. So figure out what you can do to move over. And maybe at your job, you have a scalable reputation. You just haven't thought about that yet. You know, maybe you have a career path right now and you're like, where could my skill set lead me? Because I guarantee you, unless you're in like, again, I'm sorry, this sounds so bad, but unless you're in the gig economy, you probably have a scalable skill. Driving is not a scalable skill. It is a skill that is already replaced by Tesla's autopilot. But anyway, once you've drawn that distinction, don't make the mistake that I did when it came to investing and building a social network. And I'm not talking about Facebook either. I'm talking about social connections that can be win-win relationships that you could actually profit from without making anybody feel like bad because you're profiting off them. All right, so here we go. When you begin to invest, don't start investing the way I did. I started in high school picking up the phone and going, yo, TD Ameritrade, I'm gonna be a day trader. I seriously did that. And I also started calling every multifamily commercial real estate broker selling large apartment buildings in Southern California, and then I wondered why all of them were mean to me and I never got anywhere. It wasn't because they were actually mean, it was because I was clueless and I didn't even know what I didn't know. There's this thing called unconscious incompetence, and that's when you don't even know what you don't even know. I did not know that I had no idea where to even begin investing. And that's okay, it's totally fine. But that also made me realize, wow, I also have no idea how to create social connections. So here's an example of how I built my first connection at 19 years old. When I first got my real estate license, I banged on every door, called every expired listing, farmed Craigslist, farmed neighbors. I did anything I could to get in front of people who owned real estate to use me as a real estate agent. And I suffered a lot of rejection. But when I finally got my first listing, and I'll never forget, it was a 6-unit apartment building in downtown Ventura, single wall construction, ended up having evictions throughout the deal. I mean, that was the kind of deal that I bet you people would have left the industry over. It was a nightmare deal. But something really interesting came out of that, and it changed my outlook of business forever. I realized, whoa, I was in front of somebody who owned real estate. And the New York Times tells us that the average net worth of a homeowner is over $190,000, where the average net worth of a tenant is around $5,600. So think about this. When you put yourself in a space of surrounding yourself with other reputable businesses, or in real estate sales where you're around people with a net worth, or I don't know, maybe you're in high-end jewelry sales or high-end car sales, or you work at Apple, whatever, right? All of a sudden you're around other people with money. And being around other people with money ended up being really useful, because guess what happened when I did my first ever real estate deal? First of all, my father was going through a divorce and had no money at all. My entire family had no money at all. The recession destroyed all of the money in my dad's 401 because, well, he may have sold at the bottom, but that's for a different video, I guess. When I went to buy my first house, a foreclosure for $305,000, I was able to go to that client. His name was Bob. And I said, hey, Bob, is there any way I can borrow $25,000 of fix-up money from you? I have this really good deal. I'm in escrow on this house for $305,000. And if I put $50,000 into that deal, it's going to be worth $475,000. At first, think about it. Some 19-year-old kid coming up to you going, hey, can I have 25 grand on a loan? And I'm buying a house that doesn't even have a kitchen or bathrooms. It sounds insane, right? But Bob knew it was a golden ticket. And he knew that because I said, here's what I have it under contract for, $305,000. Here's what everything else is selling for in the neighborhood. $450, $480, $460, $450, $490. That does look like a golden ticket, doesn't it? Something that's selling under market value because it's a distressed sale. This is just a sample of some of the tricks I teach you in the investing course. But anyway, I took that $20,000 loan that he made me, realizing this was a really good deal, and he secured it against the deal, so he had the right to foreclose on the property if I didn't pay him his money back. So, it was win-win. He earned interest and points. I think it was like 10% interest and a couple points, but who cares? So $500 and 10% interest on 25 grand, I was about to make my net worth go from zero to over $100,000. And it was from then on that I realized, wow, if I went to Ben Mallah today and said, hey Ben, could I have 100 grand and I owe you one? He would laugh at me and it would never happen. But if I went to Ben Mallah and said, hey Ben, I've got a deal on a $5 million apartment building that after I spend 500 grand on is going to be worth $10 million. I just need to borrow 2 mil from you. I bet you he'd write the check, because that's a really fat golden ticket. And that's what I finally learned. Aha, that's how you create relationships in business. If you're in the service business, you surround yourself with wealthier people using your services, or other business owners whom, when you come across good opportunities, you got their number because you're already working with them. Hey, would you ever consider doing this? I do that all the time. Hey, have you ever thought about investing in this? What about this? Hey, I got a deal. You want to buy this? I sold a lot of real estate transactions doing that. Hey, there's this really good property over here. I just showed it to somebody. My client doesn't want to buy it. Do you want to buy it? Like, this is a good deal. Have you thought about getting into it? Most people don't say no to a golden ticket, but most beginner investors think, well, I can't get started in real estate. I can't find anybody to give me money. Exactly, because you're starting the wrong way. You start by having a business that makes money. Scalable service, scalable product, or you're a scalable employee, so you're around people with money. Then you find deals, then you find partners. And when you order your success up in this way, you'll be able to get to that $3 million net worth. I'm confident of it.
Get a loan, find a deal, and then we'll talk about bigger deals. But get the first one done.
This is exactly why I personally don't like going to social networking events. It's not because I don't think connections are good. It's because if I don't have anything to offer other than me just doing small talk, then I'm not gonna have any social connection. The best way to build social connections is by having win-win deals that you can offer. If you can offer something to somebody like equity in a deal or high interest or points on a loan, great. Now people are interested because they make money, you make money. That's why when you realize, whoa, even social connections come out of golden tickets, that's what's gonna get you into those higher echelons of the economy, society, and wealth. But first, there's one more thing. And so what is that Julie Chen meets Steve Jobs, but first, one more thing? You probably gotta eat some. Ben Mallah did as well. Most people, when you start off, you don't start off flipping hotels. You start off with the little single family beater. You start off with that 2-family house. You start off with that 3D scanning Matterport business where you're struggling to get clients, or you're that real estate agent and you're a year into the business and you're like pulling your hair out because you just went from making $0 to $10,000 in a year, but you don't even realize how close you are to blowing up. Get out of the gig economy, get out of minimum wage, get into a scalable service, scalable product, or be a scalable, reputable employee, then build your investment portfolio, find the golden tickets at the same times, your social network, and your life will change. You will get to that $3 million portfolio and realize that along the way, you're gonna have to start by eating for a while. I made it in 9 years. You could do it as well. I'll tell you though, the first 4 to 6 years weren't all that great. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.